Hello class, this is Mr. Beller. These are your instructions for the visual hexagons activity that you will be completing. These visual hexagons will cover the content of chapter 9 and 10 in the book and deal with key concepts 3.2 and 3.3. The visual hexagon's title is Launching the New Ship of State, with the focus question being what was required to make the United States a strong, viable, independent republic in its early years? That's part one. And how did debates over the Constitution shape relations between the national government and the states? So this is a two-part question that you're going to be addressing throughout this activity. The historical thinking skills that we're going to really focus on when you're going through this process will be, of course, argumentation. Argumentation is, and this is according to the College Board Curriculum Framework, let's see, articulate a defensible claim about the past in the form of a clear and compelling thesis that evaluates the relative importance of multiple factors and recognizes disparate, diverse, or contradictory evidence or perspectives. Argumentation also requires you to develop and support an historical argument through a close analysis of relevant and diverse historical evidence, framing the argument and evidence around the application of a specific historical thinking skill, which will be the second thing that we're going to look at here in just a moment. And then finally, argumentation. Proficient students should be able to evaluate evidence and explain its relevance to a claim or thesis, providing clear and consistent links between the evidence and argument. The second historical thinking skill that we're going to focus on is contextualization. Contextualization. Students should be able to situate historical events, developments, or processes within the broader regional, national, global context in which they occurred, and in order to draw conclusions about their relative significance. So what do these visual hexagons look like as I walk you through this activity? What will you be looking at? So you will have a sheet like this, and for the first two steps of this process, you're only dealing with the hexagons on the outside. You don't have to do anything here with the middle just yet. That's not until step number 3. All right, so for these visual hexagons, I'm looking at the instructions. The first step, you must identify the images and how they relate to the central question. And something that's important here, this image can represent not only a specific person or event, but also a larger point that may summarize an area or bigger aspect which link to this set question. So when you're looking at, for instance, if I look at my 12 o'clock, I have a picture of Alexander Hamilton. He could represent Alexander Hamilton, the person. You could identify this as part of the Federalists. You could look at this as advocates for a strong national government. You could look at this with Hamilton's economic or financial plan. The possibilities are not endless, but you have a lot of flexibility with this first step. My biggest thing here is that I want you to make sure that you're linking it to the set question. All right, how does this image, or however you choose to identify this image, how does that link to the set question? And be sure to provide full explanations and commentary. What should you look for when you're doing that? I would look at, first and foremost, the key terms from really the end of chapter 9, the key terms in chapter 10, and then key concepts 3.2, especially 3.2 Roman numeral 2 and 3.2 Roman numeral 3. Look at these key concepts. Look at the sub points here. Look at the thematic learning objectives, and if you're using them, if you're using the key terms and the key concepts or the curriculum framework effectively, then you should have no problem identifying the image and making sure that you're linking it to the question and providing full explanations and commentary. I really want to make a point to emphasize content. This is something that I've been concerned about looking at our thesis statements, looking at some of these activities we're doing, the few examples or a few pieces of student work that I've seen with their vocab terms, we're still lacking content, and that's going to come back and bite us. So you really have to make sure that we're hammering content here, as well as linking it to that overall question. So you do this for all 6 images. Identify step 1, linking it to the question, using the terms, using the curriculum framework. All 6 of the outside images you want to identify and do step 1 for. After you're clear about each image, then you should be able to complete the main task. This is to explain each link between the images where the sides of the hexagons touch. Once again, be sure to provide full explanations and commentary, and use words that are on your analytical phrases bookmark or any other connectives that you could think of that would link the 2 terms together. So, once again, for Hamilton's picture, you would have to link it to the picture of the map and also the picture of Thomas Jefferson. All right, so you're creating 2 links for that image at 12 o'clock. For Jefferson, obviously you have the link for Hamilton, but you also have the link for the XYZ affair, all right, and so on and so forth. Once again, we're not doing anything with the middle hexagon just yet. Think of this, you're creating associations, you're creating links. This would also maybe serve to be a potential topic sentence in an essay. Yeah, but you want to link each image, and once again, full explanations and commentary, trying to show evidence that you've been using the curriculum framework, you've been thinking about how do the thematic learning objectives apply to this activity, and then what key terms can we bring in from our video notes, and or what key terms can we bring in from our key terms list for chapter 9 and chapter 10 that would be appropriate. Step 3. You're looking at finally the middle image. This is the Great Seal of the United States. So if you want, you could do a little background research on that so you have a full understanding of what the Great Seal is, what each part of the Great Seal stands for, the symbolic importance of these parts, and that way you could better answer these 3 questions. All right, and then finally, last but not least, a check for understanding. Create a final thesis statement that addresses a focus question and meets all 6 requirements of a thesis statement. Remember, you can find those 6 requirements on my blog. We've been using those 6 requirements for quite some time now. So yeah, that's it for the visual hexagons activity. If you have any questions, be sure to ask at any point, and I hope that you find this valuable. All right, thanks.